Swipe down to
Are you
flip.
getting my desk?
No, ma'am. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Bonke the author. We're live. New author, new professor, new educator, and new wife. And this is the Thank You Tour. Hey, Mighty One PR. Thank you so much for joining. So as you guys know, we are nearing the 1-year anniversary of the release of my debut novel, Always Want More. And in a year, we have sold about 1,000 copies. I am extremely proud of that. That is only possible because of the amazing support, the amazing team, the amazing village surrounding me on every facet of this project. And so I am with one of my favorite people in that village, Dr. Idonia Owens, who is the principal of School Without Walls High School. She was my principal when I worked at School Without Walls Foundation Academy. She has been the biggest influence in my career, my teaching career, which has definitely impacted my success as a writer and an entrepreneur. And so I'm going to flip the camera to introduce you all to Dr. Idonia Owens, who is in the middle of her workday, so she's a little distracted. Let me flip.
Good morning, everyone.
So let's get right into it. What is your philosophy on education?
Well, my philosophy on education has a lot of different facets to it. I believe in educating the whole child. I believe that the social-emotional piece is just as big as the academic piece. I believe that our young people have a much harder road to hoe, so to speak, than previous generations. And so I believe that empowering them and helping them to understand the power that they have within them to become intrinsically motivated to go out and be a success in the world is extremely important, as well as academic rigor. I believe that showing what you know and showing what you can do and tapping into resources and learning how to become a responsible citizen is just as important as academic achievement.
Why do you say that this generation has a harder than previous ones?
Well, when we look at the number of our students that live in poverty, especially right here in this particular city, most of our students are living below the poverty line. And years ago, even 10 years ago, that wasn't true. Also, when we look at our neighborhoods, when we look at the impact of trauma that our kids are facing, that is a lot more prevalent right now than it has been, as well as lead poisoning. And so all of these things affect how students learn. They affect how they are in an academic setting. They affect their relationships with each other and their relationships with their parents and their relationships with their teachers.
So as educators, how do we address this changing need in our students?
There's so many ways that the needs can be addressed. Number one, first and foremost, is that educators have to understand that building a relationship with the child can mean the difference between success and failure. So when we build a relationship with our students, we know what's going on in their lives. We know what resources are available that we can direct our children to so that they can better understand how to live in this complex society. We know that every young person needs one advocate besides a parent that can help guide them through the maze that they're expected to go through right now. The violence is so prevalent in so many neighborhoods. Not only violence on the street, but violence in the home. A lot of time violence with each other. Our kids are so exposed to so much violence. They're on the internet, and a lot of times they are not using the internet appropriately, which means that they can cross all kinds of social lines when they're communicating with each other. And so these are things that are all different than they were, like I said, even 10 years ago.
Alexandria, thank you for joining. Thank you guys so much for the hearts, and thank you to all who are watching the replay. You too can give hearts. As always, Alexandria, thank you for inviting followers. We are with Dr. Idonia Owens of School Without Walls, and she's sharing her philosophy on community, education, love. This is my go-to person for a lot of things, so I'm going to ask all types of different questions. I just want to speak to, again, the School Without Walls philosophy, because you said that it's important to touch that social emotional piece.
Absolutely.
You guys educate the whole child.
Yes, we do.
Can you just break down what that looks like?
Yes, we do. Well, every day at School Without Walls, we have a class that's called Extended Class. And there are 16 to 18 students per one teacher. And it is in that class where we do deal with the social emotional piece. The students engage in journal writing with their teachers. The students are exposed to a variety of activities which help them to build their capacity. We work on our community environment. We work on having a very safe and supportive environment every single day. We, at this school, have the lowest suspension rate in the Rochester City School District, and that is because of the love that is expressed in this building. Our students also have a community service requirement that they have to fulfill. They need 3 credits of community service before graduation. We also have a curriculum that is a constructivist curriculum where our students build upon their prior knowledge and they construct meaning from what they already know.
And our students know a lot. And that's the thing with understanding how things have changed in 10 years. But because they navigate so much, I feel like our students have a stronger skill set than those in the surrounding suburban areas.
Yes, they do. They're prepared. They're out and about in the community. They understand how to talk to adults that they meet in the community. They are not afraid to go into places where they might not be surrounded by people that look like them or have the same cultural backgrounds as them, but they know how to navigate all kinds of systems. They know how to be comfortable with people. They are encouraged to be independent learners, which means that if they don't know something, it's not up to the teacher to be the giver of all knowledge. It's up to the teacher to be the facilitator of the child's learning.
And this is everything that people learn in their education courses, all of these theories, but here at School Without Walls, you guys actually practice them. You spoke on how a child, the loving atmosphere that's here at school. Can you break that down? Because I think sometimes people feel like love is, well, I'll just let you answer it.
Okay. Well, there are a few things that we do, and they are quite unconventional. One of the barriers that we break down, which is the Without Walls concept, is the barrier of names. The students know that my name is Dr. Idonia Owens, but they are free to call me Idonia. If they so choose, they call me Idonia, they call me Miss Idonia, they call me Doc. And so that barrier where they can come and speak and feel that they are free to exchange dialogue with us, because we have broken down a few barriers as far as names are concerned. Another aspect of the love that we express in this building is that every single adult in this building acknowledges every single child in this building by name. We all know each other's names. The children always get a hello, how are you? Which in turn, when the students see a visitor in the building, they are not afraid to go up and say, hi, my name is so-and-so. How can I help you? Do you know where you're going? Is everything okay? Is there a student that I can get for you? So handling a child with care and not looking at them as, and I really don't like these terms, but not looking at them as students that are disadvantaged or as students it can't do because of what's happening in the home. That is not the way we look at our children. We as a staff, embark on professional developments, ongoing professional developments around the conversation of race and the impact of race in a child's life, the impact of race in education. Right now we're looking at institutional racism. We're having that dialogue. We're having workshops. As a matter of fact, next Friday night, we're having a community viewing of a particular film where we are talking about race. The name of the film is I Am Not a Racist, Am I? And so we open up that dialogue. And once the teachers can understand how their experiences affect how they treat children, it becomes a different level of communication with a particular student.
So there's a certain amount of honesty that each staff member has to approach
Absolutely.
their teaching with.
Absolutely. Honesty and to be authentic with students is extremely important, and to be non-judgmental with our students is also very important. And we're not. There isn't a staff member out there, I can honestly say, that does not come from a place of respect and with an open heart to truly understand.
So that is and you spoke on rigor as well. So there's an academic rigor, there's a social, emotional piece, and then you instill all these things in your staff as well. So you have a lot on your plate as a leader. How do you handle all of that?
Well, I also come from a place of love. My days are spent engaged with my students and engaged with my staff. I have an open door policy. So anyone is free at any time to come in and sit down and talk about any conversation, even those difficult conversations. And so I honestly, I don't know how I handle it. I don't even think I look at it as handling. I just do, because I guess because of the way I feel about education and the way I feel about students and the way I feel about teachers who are the direct contacts with the students. It's kind of an okay thing. I've learned how to take care of myself over the years. I exercise. I try to eat right. And quite honestly, every morning when I come into school, before I get out of my car, I pray that I do no harm to anyone who steps in my office or that I come in contact with.
So your faith is a huge component in what you do.
It's a huge component in what I do. It's everything that I do, honestly, because I believe that it is my responsibility to not only give back, but to help, and to help uplift the spirit and the soul.
To help uplift the spirit and the soul. I just had to repeat that for a second. I'm going to flip the camera for one moment.
Okay.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Banke, the author, new wife, new entrepreneur, new professor, and something else, but I can't even think of it right now. We are on the thank you tour. Dr. Idonia Owens is my mentor. She has helped me grow tremendously as an educator, as a woman. So much of what I learned at School Without Walls, as far as the open door policy she speaks of, as far as seeing everybody as individual, as far as there being no barriers, there is no hierarchy. Everybody comes together for the betterment of these children. Everybody is treated with the same respect, whether you're the custodian or the century or a teacher or a principal. And all of those things have helped me as far as the models that I use for my book discussions, how I maneuver as a business owner. So I had to stop in and speak with Dr. Idonia Owens because she has helped me in every facet of my life. So I'm going to flip it back to her. How long have you been in this field of education?
This is my 36th year as an educator.
You look good.
Thank you. Over the years, I have grown as well. I am certainly not the young teacher that I started out as. I previously was an elementary music teacher, and that was the most fabulous job anyone can ever think of. What better way to live your life than to sing and dance with children every single day. And then I came to this particular building, to School Without Walls, and it was here that I came to understand teaching and learning on an entirely different level. I had mentors as well who taught me so much about patience, about how to love teaching and love students on a different level, and to understand that everyone's process is different. Along the way, I also learned that punishment, suspension, timeout, those things are not the answer. Those things are not the key. I don't believe in the punishment model. You do this, then you're suspended. You do this, da, 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 da. I don't believe in that. I believe that any child that is experiencing or that is going through things in their lives which might make them out of control, I do believe that there is always a way to de-escalate that and then sit and have an honest conversation with the child. I've had many children that stepped into my office so out of sorts, and not only the children, the parents as well. And sometimes just being that person that sits with them and that can hug them and that can tell them that it's all right, whatever you're feeling, it's all right. And, you know, being there, being in their moment, being in their presence as a calming force can help to de-escalate that and to take them to another place where they can then begin to process everything that they're going through. And I really don't even know how to fully explain that, but I know that my office is a place of peace. And the students know that it's a place of peace, and the parents know that it is a place of peace. And given that, we can then take steps to move forward, knowing that this is where you are. This is not a place of judgment. This is not a place of punishment. This is a place of, okay, we're here. Now let's breathe.